Hi guys, I'm Priyanshi and I'm a CA final student. Today I'm going to interview a school friend of mine, Deepika. In school, I would always see Deepika with the book, whether it's the lunch break, the snacks break, she would always be with the book. So she's always been very interested in reading and she's also a great writer. She's also being published in an anthology which is going to be out soon. So I thought I should interview her. So Deepika, my first question to you would be, when and how did you discover your passion for writing?
My passion for writing actually stems from my initial avid interest in reading. My mother was someone who encouraged reading a lot. When I was 4 to 5 years old, she used to take me to this local library, which was very similar to a go down, and I would go and pick up secondhand books, read more about Bambi and other Disney characters. So when she also took me to this British library in Pune, where I actually was born and raised. And that's where I developed a constant habit of reading. And what this constant habit of reading did is it stemmed a wonderfully vivid imagination in me. And I really loved imagining characters without being binded by visual representation. So I let my imagination run wild. And soon that translated into writing that I wanted to pen down. I wanted to creatively express this wild imagination, which soon took its own turn. So it was no longer bound by the imaginations of the writer or the books I was reading. I wanted to make them take their own turn. So when I was in second grade, actually, there's a fun story. I wrote a second part script of the movie Paheli. I even penned down songs and everything, which is still a funny incident at home.
That's great, Deepika. I think the story of every writer starts with reading a lot of books, and I definitely want to see that Paheli script. So my second question to you would be, how do you balance the two, a full-time course in BBA along with writing?
So I studied BBA in Mount Carmel College, and unlike other institutions for BBA in Bangalore, the course itself is not very demanding. So I think somewhere it was a conscious choice to go with a course like this so that I could do and pick and hone my other interests, like maybe reading, maybe volunteering, maybe trying out new experiences. So that's how I made time for writing. And what most of my writing today comes from my daily life experiences. So when I'm super frustrated or there is a new experience in my life which I think would be of absolute interest to readers or even myself, I pen it down. And over time, my pieces have become more and more humorous so that they are more like slice of life. So that is when, so I have moved to the phone. There was a time when I used to take a pen and paper and write down, but every time something interesting or a funny incident comes in, I would just quickly note it down on my phone, take it down as notes. And there have been times when I have been stuck in long hours during travel, and there is absolutely no internet when I'm traveling by the metro, underground especially. So I take that time and I flesh out the content that I wrote earlier or mull over it and rethink it, and it helps give me a new perspective, and it is also an extremely cathartic process. So because writing is so interesting and important for me and helps me deal with my emotions also better, I try to make time for it as much as possible.
I think we can all relate to the endless travel time in Bangalore. It's great that you use that time to actually develop on your writing. So my third and final question would be, what style of writing do you enjoy?
In past, I have moved away from just writing blog pieces or articles or stories or some. There was a time when I also used to write poems, but now I'm writing is something you can do even in the most micro format. So when it comes writing for social media is something which I've been trying to implement, because that's the line of work I'm interested in. I want to get into marketing and advertisement, and there you have to express a huge concept, emotion, or in small, concise pieces. That is where microblogging is very, very interesting, or maybe in the form of writing captions for your social media posts, maybe as content itself for the posts that you're posting. Sometimes, and then of course, in other times you have journalism pieces in the form of reports or press releases. Now, in all these, this is all writing, which is again very interesting. It challenges me because it comes up with certain restrictions that you need to work with. Then again, there is of course haiku, which again is a very interesting format where you're trying to write in with the restriction of 7 words. So things like that are very interesting. And even if you're not somebody who wants to write a long novel, you can exercise your writing skills by starting with microblogging and starting with your own social media platforms. Of course, if you're somebody who likes to write longer form, what I use is I have had the opportunity to use 2 very interesting applications, and one of them is Medium. Now, Medium is something which I used when I was working with a not-for-profit organization. So you can write very specific content. You can write it to promote yourself. You can write it to pen down thoughts on any genre, topic, science, technology. It could be a promotional feature. It could be simply a blog. For all those, Medium is very interesting. It also allows you to edit it in a certain format, add pictures, add a very vivid means of expression. So Medium is an interesting place to start if you're interested in blogging. And another thing is Youth Ki Awaaz. It's again very interesting for press releases, and if you're interested in journalism form of writing, where you are reporting things, where you're describing issues, when you want to take a stand on social issues, political issues, and that's the kind of writing you want to do, writing for purpose and social needs, then Youth Ki Awaaz is a great place to start. And you can of course these are the kind of blogging sites that I very often use. Thanks a lot for having me here, and thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much for doing this interview, Deepika. Could you also talk a little bit about the anthology that just got published?
I recently got an opportunity to contribute to an anthology called as Whispers of the New Rain. And in this anthology, again, I have contributed a slice of life piece, which I hope people will find very interesting. So if you do get a chance to catch the book, please read it and enjoy the wonderful work that multiple, almost 40 new authors have contributed to, and promote new and young writing and new young budding authors. Thanks a lot. If you want to know more about where you can catch this book and pick this book up, pre-order it, the information will be presented in the description of this video. Thank you.
So that's great, Deepika. A big congratulations to you for actually being able to pull this off. That's a great thing. So guys, please do support the book. I will link it down below in the description where you can pre-order the book. And like, share, comment and subscribe. Share this with all the people who want to write or want to start writing and want to actually go ahead and publish a book. So I think it's very inspiring. So thank you so much for watching.